So it took me 9 years of marriage and over a year of long distance relationship to come face to face with my pattern of self-betrayal. So if you have listened to my polygamy journey, you already know how I spoke about numbing myself due to certain factors. So I was already in self-betrayal mode from the moment I chose to numb myself prior to that marriage. You understand? So I carried low self-esteem and a desperate hunger for external validation. Whilst I was in that marriage, I would hear things like, you are my leftover, no man will ever desire you, single women are struggling to find a man, not to talk of you, a single mom of two. So I internalized those words for 9 years in that marriage. And after the divorce, the self-betrayal journey would continue again. So I pursued a long-distance romantic relationship, not from a place of wholeness, but from a desire to prove to myself. And at that point, it wasn't even about the abuser anymore. It was to prove to myself that I was worthy of a man's attention, so that I could still be wanted. This time, I made sure it was a young single man, someone not tied to anyone else. But guess what? Even then, I still found myself performing. I was giving into things I wasn't comfortable with, especially when it comes to proving that I was not responsible for my previous marriage failure. I was trying to perform not to get tagged. You understand? So I could have been married today if I had kept performing, if I had kept making unhealthy compromises. But it ended. Do you know why? Because I chose to develop myself rather than continue performing to be picked. Because I recognized that the cycle of self-sabotage would never end if I didn't break it. I would have kept blaming exes when the truth was I didn't set boundaries. I didn't respect my own limits. I wasn't ready to accept that true alignment only comes when you begin living from your truth, not from your fear, not from your trauma, not from your longing to be validated. Hear me. You might think you consented to things, but they were not truly what you wanted. Trust me. You discarded your own boundaries just to be accepted. And the universe has a way of sending people who betray you because you had already betrayed yourself. Sometimes it's even leads to you experiencing unwanted sexual experiences. Not because you didn't consent or not going to consent, but because you were or you are or operating from a place of deep self-betrayal. You convince yourself that it's not a big deal at that moment, right? It is a big deal because you are still betraying yourself, because you rationalize less when you are in your self-betrayal mode. So healing begins when you stop betraying yourself. If there's anything you want to take away from this video, so I would say take charge of your space today. The only thing you have to lose when you operate from a place of self-ownership is that you repel people who are not interested in your empowerment. You won't need to perform, you won't need to betray yourself for anybody. Today, start defining what empowerment means to you. Then we see how it goes from there. Thank you. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. This is my self-accountability journey. Ire o.